I was talking about this real estate that has put my house on the market. Some few days after they have set it on the internet, he told me he would come here and he will take the sign with him he could put in front of the garden. And then suddenly I got an SMS that at the same time there will be somebody coming to look at the house. And here you see the SMS and you see that telephone number. It ends on 666. I had a suspicion about that number, and people have talked about the ending of this number, but well, even though you maybe have a bad thought about people, I'm one of those who give them a chance to show what kind of persons they really are. And it seems to it fit with the number. There's something bad going on with this real estate. But then the day came and I was waiting. You know, when somebody's coming to look at your house, you clean a little extra and you try all you can to make it look good, both inside and outside. So those people who order to see a house, they may know that. And I'm now thinking about what was going on there, because when the time came, a lady knocked on my door. I was expecting the real estate man first and then the customer later. But it was a lady and I could see immediately who she was. She was the lady from the real estate's office. I had been there some weeks ago, so I could recognize her. And she said, yeah, he is the leader of this real estate. He called her in the middle of the night, 3 o'clock, she said, and he was sick. So she has to go to my house and show it to the customer. So I showed her around in my house so she could see it also. And we sat down and was waiting and nobody came, and we talked and I showed her some of the papers she wanted to see on the house. And it was a little bit, I had a feeling she knew something. Maybe she knew there would not come anybody. But I said and I told her, now I have to tell you, I don't know if it's something your leader are doing often, or if it has something to do with that maybe I know him a little bit from my past, so maybe that was why he did it to me. And I told her about many years back, the episode where he threw me down in the bed and kissed me, and she had not imagined he could do things like that. And I know that time I was thinking, oh my God, how many times does he do that, and how many times do he have succeed to have sex with people who order him in a serious matter, and then suddenly do something like that. Today many are very much into the sex. Maybe I would have jumped on him and gone with it some years back, but not the person I am today. And then I told her about he tried to make a deal with me where we did it outside the tax, did some of the money outside the tax system. And yeah, in a way she knew something, because when I have suddenly he came with some new papers where this sum has not been removed, but she didn't take those papers with her. She said we could order that together. She didn't want to have anything to do with that. So I think that's okay, fine. But nobody showed up. And I also said, is that normal? And it was, she was some of those persons where you ask, and in a way you do not really remember or feel you got a good answer. So now I have suspicious things experience with this real estate. I could have a suspicion that maybe they do those things to targeted individuals or to customers, both to stress them and to disappoint them, and then maybe in the end people get so desperate so they will say okay to go down in price simply because it has been a hard job to sell, because of those kind of difficulties or disappointment that comes. And I could see it was actually the same real estate that my mother tried to sell her house after my father died. And there it also seems that it was very clear that he was trying to make a deal behind my mom's back with some of the neighbors. And there have been problems with the neighbors in different ways. And now when I have put my house on sale, one of the other real estate who actually live nearby, she stopped on her bike one day and said, oh, now you have decided to do it, to sell your house, then we may see. And then we were also talking about down with my mother's house. And this real estate, she told me that she knew one of my mother's neighbor, the really a difficult one, who have been very provocating, that him and his family was moving to another house. She knew that because she knew the contract has been written for them to rent another house. But then we were talking about my mom's, and I said, yeah, the house is not much worth. We may see when one day she is no more, what we can sell it for, or if anybody wants to buy it. Or maybe the neighbor who owns this house, where there have been most problems, maybe he would buy it and then have a bigger garden behind the house. Oh yeah, I was thinking that was the plan, and had been the plan for many years, that he should have that house for nearly no money. So I said to her, no, he is not gonna buy it. I can guarantee you that. Then I will buy it. So I have a very big feeling that a lot of things is going on behind people's back when they're made different kind of business. And my mom also once came with a note from a newspaper where it says that it was actually this real estate. It's some who has all over the Danish country. It's not only in my area. It's a big company who has in all the country. And there was a note that people sometimes have written on the papers and try. They thought they have bought a house, and then suddenly they realize they have not bought it because the seller has not put their signature on the papers, and suddenly the house was sold to somebody else. And it also says that many buyers had the feeling, or many people had the feeling, that the houses put for sale, they were already reserved to some special people. So it means that there are many who have had weird experiences when they try to buy and sell houses. And I could have that suspicious too, also since the prices has gone so much up, and we know the salaries had not gone so much up. So you are thinking, who can find money to buy those expensive houses. So we also know the conspiracies say that the rich will end up to own everything. So maybe that could also be a part of that plan, that houses will be so expensive. So it would be the rich people who end up to buy all of them, and then we have to rent into those houses and to get a home, and then they can put the price very high for rent. So we do not have an opportunity suddenly to live for a low price in our homes. But nobody showed up to see my house. And then a couple of days ago, I got this SMS, and that was not from the real estate office. It's some of those you cannot answer back on. The other one was too. But then I got this one, and it was actually written to be sent from the leader's telephone. And here it says the showing this date on my address, updated with XX. Kindly, and then his name and his mobile phone number. And I was thinking, what in the beep is that? XX, what does he mean with that? And then suddenly you think, now he's writing in codes I do not understand. I have not learned in the school what XX means. And I searched on the internet, and then the most results that came up with what XX meant was that one X meant kiss, and two X's means kiss kiss, or something like that. I think, what the heck is that? And actually this real estate, he seems to be very much into a sexual, dirty thing, because when we met the first time and talked and signed the papers, he also talked about one of my schoolmates. He remembered from the time when we went to school together, and there was especially one other girl that he had a little crush on, he said. She seems to be such a little dirty one, he said. I think, oh no, I really don't like him to talk like that. A man I should have a serious business with. Actually, it's very many money they are going to earn on things like selling a house. And then all these things are happening. It's not very comfort to that things like that is going on. So already now, even though it's maybe only a month ago, it's maybe only 14 days ago, the house came up on the market, and now I sit here, how can I get out of this? Yeah, but somehow I feel it's used. Now this is used to give me some worries and problems in my life. So I could have a big suspicion it would end up just to be on the market and maybe not be sold, simply because I cannot trust what is going on. But then we come to this. Another weird thing happened in my life.